Hi everybody, this is Elaine from the East End Soap and Candle Company, and today I'm making a video on how I make hot process soap in the oven in a pot, which I found is so much better than using a crock pot. I went through about 4 different crock pots because the lye kept eating through the ceramic insert, and it became really frustrating for me. So through the advice of some of my soaping friends on Facebook, they suggested that I try the pot in the oven technique, which I think is called hot process oven process. So you can look that up, but I'm not too sure. In any case, I am going to start now. I'm going to be turning the video on and off as I go along because I'm doing this on my own, and you know, I can't. I only have 2 hands, so I have to hold the camera and I have to hold the stick blender and I have to add the fridge. So you know, there's only so much I can do at once. So stick with me and watch through as I make a double or triple batch. I haven't decided of soap today, and that's my cat sitting on the edge of the sink because he loves the sink, and but he won't get anywhere near my soap. So thanks so much, and I'll be back in just a sec. Okay, I'm back. So the first thing I did was turn on my oven onto its lowest setting. I actually have a warm setting, and then I have a low set, it doesn't have a number on it, it just has a little line, and then it goes up to 200. So the little line thing is probably about 170 degrees, 180 degrees, somewhere in that, and that's what I have it set on. So while the oven is warming up, what I've done is I've poured 100 ounces of my oil in the pot, and it's just room temperature. I didn't preheat it or anything, just have it poured. You can see it's 100 ounces right there. And next I'm going to add my lye water. So I'm going to pre-mix my lye water, and then I'm going to pour it into the pot and mix it up, and you'll see. I'll be right back. Okay, so now I have the water poured into my separate container. As you can see, it's 38 ounces. And this is the lye that I use that I get at my local hardware store. The big box hardware stores like Home Depot and Lowe's don't seem to carry lye anymore, but I did find it at Ace Hardware, and it's pretty reasonable. I get one of these, which is a pound. I get it for less than $4, and I know that it's more money than if I buy them online, but you know what, I don't need a pallet of lye, so this is fine. I get them one at a time. So I'm now going to open it and pour, add in what I need. So first thing I'm going to do is tear this down to 0, and gotta open my lye, which is here to remember always, and I know you've heard it a million times, but not everybody kind of follows the procedure. Safety is first. Wear your rubber gloves. Make sure it's the long ones. Cover yourself. Wear your goggles. You can't see me, but I am wearing my goggles. Always be protected. Better off with this, wearing this equipment than having to be rushed to the emergency room for a lye burn. Okay, you really do not want to get this into your eye. It's just horrifying. So okay, so now I'm going to start adding in my lye, which some people pre-pour in a separate container and then add that, but I'm fine with just adding it this way. So always add your lye to your water, never the other way around. I have to put in 12.5 ounces of lye, which I do a little bit at a time. And sugar. Okay. I'm not adding sugar, it's just my expression. So, okay, I have to open up another container. Bear with me. Okay, I'm back. Boy, it's hard to work this camera wearing rubber gloves. Okay, so we're back. And it looks a little blurry. Maybe it's the goggles. So, okay, so we're going to 12.5%, 12.5 ounces. Apply. Almost there. 4 and 5. There we go. Now we're gonna mix it up. I use I like to use silicone spatulas because lye could eat through wood. And I know that a lot of you have wood spatulas. I would recommend staying away from that. Wooden spoons, wooden utensils, don't use them. The lye will eat through them eventually. And then you know what's going to happen. The wood's going to break apart. You're going to get splinters in your soap. And yeah, that's just not fun. So stick with silicone if you can. I ordered these from a co-op buy in my Facebook group. But you can get silicone spatulas, in Walmart or on Amazon, just about anywhere. And if you don't have these, you can use the regular rubber ones, the plastic ones. Just stay away from wood, and you do not want any aluminum. Stay away from aluminum when working with lye. It is reactive. You're going to get black fumes, and which is toxic, and you don't want that. So stay away from aluminum. No pots, no utensils, nothing. So okay, so this is pretty melted down, and I'm just going to put this in my sink. And what I'm going to do now is slowly add my lye. There we go. Normally I would scrape it out, but I only have one hand I'm working with here. There we go. Now, next part is blending. Be right back. And here I got my stick blender, and I've already burped it, so there's no trapped air in there. And I'm going to start blending, and I'm going to figure out how I can speed this up once I put this video together so you don't have to listen to this. Okay, you can see it's starting to thicken up now. This is a light trace. I like to get it a little bit thicker before I put it in the oven. But you can really put it in at this stage. It's fine. It's just going to take a little longer to cook out. So here we go. Let's finish it. Yeah, I think I'm going to let it go a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to pause now, and I'm just going to finish up my blending, and then we'll be back in a sec. Okay, you can see now that it's gotten thicker, and I think it's good enough for me to put in the oven. It's between a medium and a thick trace. So I'm just going to bang some of the excess off here and set this over into my sink. Unplug it, and I'll rinse that off in a minute. So now the next step is what's really needed to this is sodium lactate. I always add sodium lactate. It aids with bubbles, and it aids with the hardening of the bars. So sometimes I put it with the lye water. I'll mix it into the lye water before I add it into the pot, and then other times, I'll add it to the end. Since I totally forgot to add it to the lye water before, I'm just going to add it to the end of this. And it will also help with the fluidity. Since this is a hot process, you want to make it a little bit more fluid, which is easier to pour. You could also do special effects once you do that. You can do the swirling, and you can do the hanger swirl, or whatever it is that you want to do. It's some really fantastic effects. I'm really more of a plainer type of soaper. I like just, you know, solid colors or one or two colors really, and I don't necessarily do a swirl mostly, because I like the rustic looks of my soaps, which is just how I am. But you can basically do whatever you like once you have it to a fluid consistency. And another thing, keep in mind that, um, and there's a lot of misconception about this, you can use any cold process recipe in hot process and it'll be fine. I mean, hot process, all it does is that it cooks out the lye and cooks out the water at a faster pace. So you don't have that long cure time that you have with cold process. Instead of waiting 4 to 6 weeks for cold process to cure, hot process is really ready in, you know, 1 week or 2 weeks. Well, you know, just like any soap, really, the longer you let it sit, the better it's going to get. But hot process soap is really ready the next day, and you can use it. But if you want a harder bar, let it sit around for a week, and you know what? It's perfectly fine. I use it all the time, and it's just great. And you can use any recipe you want. So if you want to try this, you know, this is a great way to get into hot process without having to get a crock pot, not having to go through all that. This is very easy. Just keep in mind you have to use a stainless steel pot, and um, once you use it for soaping, can't use it for food anymore. So you can get these at a thrift store if you don't have one that you're looking to get rid of. I was looking to get rid of this until I decided to try it, and now it's in my soaping arsenal. So next step, now that it's all blended, I'm going to cover it with its lid, and it's going into the oven in its low setting, which it's already preheated, and I'm going to check it again in about an hour. There's a lot of oil in here, so I really, if I checked it in a half hour, it's just not going to show anything. So we'll be back in an hour, and we'll see how it's doing. Okay, so it's been an hour. And I've just taken it out. As you can see, it doesn't look like it's changed at all, but you can see that it's very thick, very creamy, and still needs to go back in. So we're going to check it again in another half an hour. And you know, you hopefully will be able to see the difference. The first thing that we're going to see is it's going to start cooking along the edges, and it's going to start folding into itself. So let's check back in 30 minutes. Okay, so we're back, and this is a half hour later, and you can see along the edges, right around here, you can see that it's starting to gel. And it's all the way around. So it's going to need more time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the timer for another half an hour and check it again. And I'm not going to start filming again until everything has been gelled, so that way you can see the difference. So like I said, here we have the gelling going around the edging here, and it's still creamy in the middle, but the next time you see this, the whole thing is going to be gelled, and there might be a slight pool of oil in the middle, but that's going to get mixed up anyway. So next time you see this, should be done. So it's been another half an hour, and I know I said I was going to show you when it was completely done, but I wanted you to see what it looks like as it's progressing. So you can see now that the gelling process has been kind of moving towards the center, from the edges in, and along the middle here is still creamy. It's still uncooked, so we need to put it back in until this entire thing is gelled. So next time now it'll be done. Okay, well, it's been a half an hour more, and here we can see the entire batch is now gelled, and the soap is all done. And you can see how Vaseline it is. It's completely see-through. It's not thick. It's not quite fluid, but it's not quite thick either. So I'm going to be adding the sodium lactate now, which is 1 teaspoon per pound of oils. So I'm going to add that now, and I'll be back in a minute to show you how I do that. Okay, we're back. Now, normally I would measure this out precisely, but since I only have one hand to do this in, I'm just going to estimate it. So this should be about 6 teaspoons, since it's a teaspoon per pound of oils, and I have 100 ounces of oils in here, so that's about 6. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, oop, that's a little much, 5, and 6. Now with that, that should loosen it up pretty well. I'm going to stir that up. And that's definitely making it looser. It's not quite fluid, but it's loose. And here we have already made soap. So if you want to make it unscented, you could just mold it and you're good to go. But since I add colors and fragrance and additives and stuff, my next step would be to measure out what I need, put in my fragrance, put in my color, and then mold it. So this right now in the pot is about a little less than 150 ounces of soap, which I will split 3 ways. So that's about a little less. So you figure about 49 ounces 3 times. I have 3 molds here, and I use the Brambleberry silicone 10-inch molds, which I love. And those are the ones I use because they slide out really well. And that's it. And I hope that if you try it, you know, you shoot me off a note and let me know how it worked for you. Next time I record, I'm just going to show you the soap in their mold, and then we'll do an unmolding. Thanks. Okay, well, this is my last batch. I've already put together 2 out of the 3. This one's my last one. And you can see that, see how nice and fluid it is. And I've already added my fragrance, my colorant, so I'm just stirring it up. And I'm about to put it in the mold. But I wanted you to see how creamy and you know, it's not stiff and the edges are not burnt like what happens in crock pots. You don't get that here. And this is really the way to go. If you're thinking about venturing into hot process, I really recommend just going this route. Forget about the crock pot, and you know, go with a stainless steel pot in the oven instead, because the soap just comes out so nice. You don't have to really watch it as much as you do with a crock pot. You don't need to stir it every 20 minutes. I mean, in total, this was 150 ounces of soap batter. It took me, I guess, 2.5 hours of cooking time, but I didn't have to take it out of the oven. I took it out just to show you, but I didn't have to stir it. I didn't have to watch it. You can watch it if you want every once in a while, like every hour. Just take the lid off, see how it's progressing. Once it's completely gelled, that's it. You just take it out. And, you know, stir it up with your fragrance, with your colorant or your additives or whatever, and move on. You could super fat it if you want. I don't. This is actually a Castile, so I don't super fat it. It's just perfect the way it comes out. And, you know, I love it. I'll never go back to crock pots, and I don't miss working with cold process. So this, to me, this is the best scenario. So good luck. If you're going to try it on your own, maybe if I get a chance, I'll show you what the end result is, so that way you can see how the soaps come out. So here we have the 3 batches. This is Fresh Linen, French Lavender, and this is Energy by Brambleberry. And here we have soaps that I made yesterday, you can see I cut them up last night. And we have some uncolored bits because I goofed and ended up having to fix it. So these are not my perfect cuts. So you'll see, this one has charcoal and Roswell clay. You'll see when I cut these, I'll show you how nice they come out and just how pretty and pleasant. If you notice in the process, I did not have to cool down my lye water because in hot process you don't have to worry about that. You can just go ahead, mix it up right away. This, you know, I know that it might have taken a little longer to cook than, say, cold process does, um, but it's also less to cure. And it's really satisfying, and I love it, and I just don't miss um, cold process at all. So this is it, and again, good luck if you're going to do hot process, and I hope you try it. And if you do, shoot me off a note. I'd love to see pictures. And I guess this is it for my first video. Hopefully I'll make another one soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.